waiting for people to join. In addition to the QR code, is there just a registration link people can go to register?
For which?
Both.
Well, the QR code just takes you to the registration page.
That's when people, yeah.
Well, that's so they can get the invite each week.
Well, the QR code brings you to the registration page. So where is that link just for the registration page? Because I don't think people are capturing the QR code. Or here, if you'll pull it up, I'll open it on a side tab and I'll put it in
That one?
yeah. I'll open it because I send invitations to people often. Oh, grazie. Okay, let me get that. So I saw Arne in Vegas.
Yeah, she came by one of the, then she
5
wasn't.
minutes.
Pardon me?
For 5 minutes. Join here.
She was there with us on Monday to record, and Janet came by. And then Arne wasn't feeling well.
Yeah, I heard. Copy.
I would like to figure out why on this is the only Zoom where people come in already named Sherry.
Because they're using a link that they received from that person. Yeah, that's why when I share my calendar invitation with people, they're using the link that has my name. That's why Z had my name one day.
I wonder how to get around that.
Find out what the registration link is.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, this isn't working.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
All right, so I'll tell you, I will here in a minute.
Like
Maybe
for
I'll send it right from Zoom.
Like for James Shaw, people can register at shiftpivotcall.com. And I think there's something like that for your calls, but I don't know what it is. You know who would know? Carlos. Let me just text him and ask.
There's Susan.
Good morning.
That's funny. You're in California. You have all the smog behind you turns on in green.
Actually, I'm going to Alaska, so I want to see the Northern Lights.
Hopefully you see them when you're there.
Where are you going in Alaska?
And when are you going to Alaska?
You're on mute, Susan.
Oh, May.
I'm going to be there in June.
Oh.
Where are you going? Where are you going, Susan?
I will be flying into Anchorage, and then from there we're taking the cruise up to see the glacier, and hopefully I could see the stuff that you see behind me.
Yeah, nice. Well, welcome everybody. It is Friday. All right, it's Friday. It's been a long week with family reunion. Denny Grimes here, bringing you mastery, role play mastery with the gang, and appreciate you being on. And today is March 1st already. It's the 1st of March. And if you're watching by video and you would like to become a live member of the group, there is a QR code, and click on that if you want to reach me. I'm easily found at coachdannygrimes@gmail.com, which is right behind me. You can see that. And also a little plug for our, most of you guys know this, our morning role play called Recon, Real Estate Conversations, a QR code for that. Well, this is Friday. It's going to be a free-for-all Friday, and we always want to kind of keep it mixed up. So I guess we had a suggestion in the suggestion box, and I'll let Louise kind of tell you a little bit about this game we'll play for part of the hour we're spending together. Where did she go?
I'm here. I thought it would be fun to play what we call Stump the Chump. Throw out an objection and hear Denny handle it. And then maybe for variety, we could get 2 other objection handlers for the same objection. So we can add to our toolbox.
Sounds good. Sounds good. In fact, it probably maybe it's better if I don't go first, or you can call it out any way you want. So we can let's spend our first 15 minutes, kind of a fast and furious firing line on this. Throw out an objection and then call on someone to spend maybe, it'll be at the table or it could be on the phone. 2 minutes.
Okay, so I'll start it. I'll throw out the objection and I'll give one of my canned responses. And these
Okay.
are just like one-line zingers. It's not a dialogue, okay? So, oh, your fee is too high. Tanner said he would do it for half that price. So my response would be, well, you're a coffee drinker, right? I'm aware that gasoline stations sell coffee for 99 cents, yet there's always a line at Starbucks. Why do you think that is?
Ooh, good one.
Next, for the handling that, Susan, I'm sure you've got one. And I know Frank has one.
I can't think of anything right now.
And then hit you with that, why won't you discount it like the discount agent?
I actually don't, that's a very good one. I don't have anything to top that, but I do have a.
Oh, wait, we're gonna get two more. We're gonna get two more.
So
Can
I
you,
think I have one, normally when I cold call.
but
and I
wait,
have
Susan, before you go, can we just get two more responses for that objection from anyone else? Sherry?
Yeah. Although that's not your name is coming up as Sherry, but we see your hand up.
Me, that's me. It's Dr. Nicole. I would say brand recognition and what people are familiar with.
How is that the response? Like, do you have a response to that objection?
Well, when you ask me why would people go to Starbucks, the same reason they would
No,
use.
why? The objection is I'd like you to discount your fee.
I think a response to this, and I don't know if this is what we're looking for in terms of like rapid fire. My thing would be, well, if they discounted their fee, what do you think they're going to do when it comes time to negotiating a higher price on your home? Do you think they'll discount that as well?
That's a good one.
I have one I'm not sure if it's too long. I would say, what do you know about the benefits of a discounted agent other than the price? Or
Ooh.
You had a good one a week or two ago. Didn't you say something like, how are they going to negotiate the best price for them when you were able to negotiate the lowest price for them? Or no, how are they going to negotiate the best price for you when they were actually able to negotiate the lowest price
For themselves?
I'm wondering why they're bringing up that question. So the direction I've been going in lately is like, what do you want? Like, what do you want for the job getting done? And so really getting into what the list agent wants. Instead of throwing a finger, that's like, what's the point of that? Like, what do they want?
Sometimes they're getting it because people are putting it out on a postcard and putting it in their mailbox. I will list your home for this price.
So it's really like, have you met that person? What did you think of them? Do you want to use them? Like, what do they want? I just my thoughts. I'm just throwing that out.
You're looking for a discount response when you get a discount fee? Maybe that's it.
You might only be a little late. We're doing a couple, just a little handles really fast. So this is just kind of a new little thing here. So I think you logged on a little late. However, it is awesome to see you.
Same.
So Susan had an objection. Unless Denny, you've got a nice zinger for that objection.
I'm not a big zinger guy. The zinger to me is, I guess I've gotten into the habit. I don't have a one-liner. I like to set them up and say, well, so let's just throw out a number. They said they do it for less. Okay, well, what if I would do it for free? Would that be better? I would go on the ridiculous side, although I could handle that. I would just make them, the whole purpose of what you're attempting to do there with the zinger is to make them think or get them curious. And so there's nothing wrong with one-liners. However, then that will lead you to a conversation. And I
So
think
you
we
got
should
it,
have
though.
several of them.
I've heard you say two, and you said them at your breakout session, right? One, or maybe this one wasn't the breakout session. One is, well, was that the fee that they started with, or did you negotiate them down to that? And then your
Mhm.
other one that I heard at the breakout session was, okay, well, if they'll go from 6 to 5, would you like 4? Okay, what if someone offered you 3? What if someone offered you 2? And then the person started to say, well, wait a minute. And they started to see that they were eroding the value.
Right, and the close of that and the zinger is, so then what you're admitting then, a low that seems too good to be true probably is, right? So what does Susan have?
Well, I was thinking, normally when I do my calls, and if I engage them in a contact, in a conversation, I ask them if I can get permission to follow with them. And some, it was just yesterday, someone said, no, you have no permission to follow with me. I don't even know how to respond back to that. If anyone have,
To follow them?
follow up with them.
Up.
Oh, okay. And they said no? Okay. At least you know.
Were they working with an agent? Is that why they said no?
No, this expire calls.
Okay, so then here's one I'd throw out. Oh, Susan, oh, that's a shame because I'm sure you'd like to win a raffle every once in a while, wouldn't you? Like just something to hook them.
I like that.
Yeah, you're in California. You could give them tickets to a MAGA rally. All right, Frank's got his hand up. What's going on with it? We have, although that's David. Share, David, go ahead and change your name on your thing because you're coming up as sharing. Frank, what is on your mind today?
Paying me a little bit more, that's a whole lot more than my service fee doesn't really matter.
What?
If paying me a little bit more, that's you a whole lot more, then my service fee doesn't really matter.
Oh, okay. Got it. David. You're muted, bud. David, you're still muted. Press the space bar. All right. We'll come back to you in a second. Yael, what's up? You're muted too. We're
I
having
got this objection today. I had a listing appointment and and they said the family feels the house can sell on its own. And they're just put a sign in the yard. So I said, do you think if it was on the market, you would have more showings? He said, yes. I said, do you think if you had more showings, you'd get more offers? And he said, yes. And then I said, and if you had more offers, don't you think you'd get a better price? I don't know if I said that. Maybe, I don't know how the conversation, because I don't remember. But then he said, but the family really wants, I said, there's a reason people hire. I need coaching on it. So you tell me what you think. I don't want to say how it went. But I was just like, what are your thoughts, Denny?
They didn't want to sign in the yard?
They wanted to put their for sale by owner sign in the yard. And there's 11 children and they all don't want to spend the money on a realtor. Even though I kept saying like, you'll get the job done and you'll make more money and they still wanted to do it on their own. So
one of the responses I have for that is I have no doubt you can sell it on your own. Yeah. The question is, are you going to leave money on the table?
And then what about the time and the headache and the hassle of showing the property and dealing with the negotiations?
So what I ended up doing was I did that pitch and then I said, would you, I know everyone's going to hate me for this, but I said, would you consider doing a reduced commission for, I said, would you consider paying a reduced commission if I assisted you? You would do it on your own and I would assist you. I said, I don't know exactly what it would look like. I would have to think about it. Got to my car, I was like, no, I can't do that. I'm just like, is there a way I could have gotten him to sign? I don't like.
Yeah,
So we all hate you, but just joking. But why wouldn't you offer, instead of an exclusive, I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it's where you've got the listing, and then if they think they can sell it on their own and you don't know how to handle that objection, then, you know, by all means, let them
All right.
protect.
All
I
right.
just have one thing, if I may.
This is kind of mastery, and there's conversations don't work with everyone, and you can't fix stubborn or stupid. So the issue is this: can you? That is what is the picture in their mind, guys? It's all about this. When someone has an objection, they have a picture in their mind.
They think their house is amazing, and they think that everybody is going to offer them lots of money for their house just by driving by a sign. That's what they think.
Well, regardless of what it is, we only find out by asking enough questions. And then we have to help them see the picture they're not seeing. So one is, and again, this is a standard by owner. What you want to do is slice the loaning. So Yael, so that you're the seller. So if I bring you a buyer, or another agent were to bring you a buyer, are you going to pay that broker?
Yes.
Okay. So you're not attempting to save the whole commission. You're attempting to save part of it, half of it,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Now that you cut that down into half, then you have a conversation with them, not on the phone, on talking about, okay, the points of it. Like, for example, I'm sure they don't cut their own hair. Why? Because the results would be terrible. I'm sure they probably don't even cut their own grass, although they could do it. Sure, they could sell it. However, if you could sell it and put more money in your pocket without having to do the work, isn't it all? Would you like to know if that's possible? If they have no level of curiosity, there may not be anything you can do. However, I believe we can get to the point that we don't have to start getting competitive with our professional fee. If we have the great conversation skills and help them see the picture. Because
I thought I was doing that the whole time. Like, that's what I was doing the whole time.
I got it.
And he still firmly said there are 11 siblings and they all want, he's the one in charge, and I think that's retarded. I don't know why they would want to do it on their own. But
I got it. I'll give you a one-liner for that. Genies can't make people fall in love and bring them back from the dead either. So there's certain things that magic does not help with. All right, let's go on, Yael. All right, so I got David. Got your mic working yet?
No.
Are you on your phone?
Yes, there you go. I just have to double click the top of it. I really liked on the previous call when you had mentioned a rebuttal to that. Is it more important to the seller to save money or make money? And then asking them what was important to them about an agent, because, you know, using that analogy, you know, they're saving, or they want to save money or make money, I thought was a really great rebuttal.
And it's a great rebuttal. It sure is. Why? Because it makes them think. That's a great question too. So do you have an objection, David? Come on, let's play. And I'll let Tanner be the seller. All right. So you're going to be on a listening appointment, David. I'm going to see how you do. Tanner, you're a seller. Give him an objection, please. You have 2 minutes.
All right, David, I like what you said, but I probably will go with my nephew, who also, has a real estate license.
And Tanner, what is important to you in regards to a real estate agent representing you?
Sell my house?
Absolutely. And is it their experience or their knowledge of the market? Like, what do you think is going to be some of the important things that they have?
So because this is mastery, I'm pausing the time right here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let me go back here, David. So this is for everyone. Those watching, the thousands that will watch this video on YouTube. What is the first thing you want to do when you heard the objection? Acknowledge. What's the second thing? Isolate.
Isolate.
And,
So did you isolate?
no,
So let's go ahead and just say, I understand. Other than that,
Yeah.
any other reason why you wouldn't use me, right?
okay,
My next little
Okay.
point for everyone is this: when you ask a question, don't answer it. Just ask the question. All right, so I'm going to reset this. We've already heard the objection. Start over again, David. Go.
okay. So aside from the relationship, using a family member, is there any other reason that you wouldn't work with me?
No, man, you know, I saw what you have. I like it, but you know, I want to give him a chance. You know, he's been doing it for a few years still, so that's pretty much it.
Okay. And then where would I go next with? Not sure. So
Okay, so
Yeah.
just sit tight. I'm going to tag team Dr. Lauren. All right, you're at 30 seconds. Where do you go next? In fact, before you think about it, Louise, there's a couple of directions we could go, right?
Mhm.
Nate, let's come up with you talk about objection handlers. I want you to know the different routes we could go. I'll give you one.
would one of them be if you know, I don't know if you should say this, but like if your cousin made you $20,000 less selling the house, like that's the pain, would you still work with him?
Okay, and
Yeah.
again, there's delicate ways to ask that question. Number
Yeah.
one, what did we learn? He said, well, he's been doing it a couple years. Now,
Mhm.
what did you hear? Tell me what you what you heard and what you didn't hear on that.
I heard that he's in real estate, but not how experienced he is. He's
Well,
only done a couple
experience.
deals.
what else are you guys hearing?
It sounds like he's almost doing him a favor. He said he has to feel like he's got to give him a shot to do it.
He's
Right.
obligated to do it because he's family.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, are you choosing this person, this relative from their experience or out of obligation?
So here are the different roads I want you to kind of already know. There's more than one way to go down the road. Number one, if it wasn't your cousin, would you use him? You said he's been in real estate a couple of years. He might be the mailman and had a real estate license for a couple of years. Don't assume he's a full-time agent that knows what you know, right? And so when someone wants to work with a friend or family, there's another road that's a very effective conversation. What is it? And I'll give you a hint. What if things go wrong? Will they be able to have a conversation with you when things are going south? And basically, at the end of the transaction, is it worth losing a friend or family member because things fell apart? Those are all potential highways. Dr. Lauren.
Yes.
In the event that the property didn't sell, would that affect your relationship with your
relationship.
And I've
with
heard
your-
it.
with your
I've
cousin?
heard it this way. Hey, David, I understand that you want to work with your relative. However, if things go south, isn't it easier to fire someone you don't know than someone you do know? That's one.
Ooh.
And then another
I
one
like
is
that.
how is the dynamic going to be around the Thanksgiving table if things go south?
How comfortable are you with them knowing all your financial information?
There's another one. There's a lot of personal information there. That's right. So hang on, Dr. Lauren. I'm going to go back to David. With that in mind, we've given you several roads to travel. You're at 30 seconds. You've got a minute and a half. Let's see how you do it, Tanner.
So, just use one of those, or
Whichever one you want. Yes.
okay. So Tanner, in the event that things went south, don't you think it would be easier to fire someone that you didn't know?
I mean, I think he's gonna sell it though. You know, he is doing this, and why do you think it's gonna go south?
Um,
I would go right now. One of the things I want to find out, you said he's been doing it a couple of years. Is he full-time, Tanner?
No, he's bartending and doing it part-time.
Bingo.
Now, doesn't that give you some options?
What area does
Absolutely.
he service? Like maybe he might not even be in the state, you know?
That's right.
yes.
He may be a bartender in Hawaii. Would you use Tanner? Would you use him if he wasn't your cousin?
Oh, that I don't know, Danny. You know, that's a tough question. Yeah.
Let's say that he's a bartender and he watched a YouTube session on cutting hair. Would you let him cut your hair?
Probably not.
Probably wouldn't matter for you or me. All right. So,
Yes, it does.
David, you've got 1 minute. Land the plane. Let's go.
Do you think experience is important to helping you get the top dollar for your house, Tanner?
Good question.
I believe so. I mean, you need to know what you're doing, obviously.
And I usually make a statement there, Denny, but I know we're only supposed to ask questions. So I'm
Yes,
trying to
we
keep
are.
it on questions. But I do like to try to get the seller to ask me about my experience so that I can share that with them, because it usually builds a sense of confidence with them of my local knowledge and production.
Here's the danger in that.
Mhm.
You want to talk about you. I don't know that they really care. How you would have to be able to find a way to talk about your
To leverage that.
experience in a way that would be meaningful to them. So I don't want you to do. Maybe we'll get into that here in a little bit later today, how to have that conversation, because I could talk about my 40 years, my 7,000 transactions, and just kind of up my chest till I bleed. I'm not sure that will be helpful.
Yeah.
Here's a question. If they said they would still work with them if they weren't their cousin, okay. And under any other circumstance, David, when you're dealing with something of this magnitude financially, wouldn't you get a second opinion?
Yes, absolutely.
So let me be your first, second choice.
Well, you could also ask him, how confident do you feel in your nephew handling your finances? Would you prefer to have someone that's more experienced helping you through this transaction?
Usually that leads to they'll ask about experience, and that's usually helpful.
All right. Now, David, that's the second time you brought it up. So let's have this conversation now. All right. Well, David, experience is important to me.
So now I can make a statement, not a question.
Well, what would you normally do? And if we
normally I'd make a statement, but in this situation, I would try to revert back to making it a question and saying something along the lines like, our team has closed 180 transactions in the last year. Do you think that'll be helpful? No.
Here's one. I think
hang on. Let me stay with this a minute. The challenge with that is define experience from my point of view.
Right. What does experience look like to you?
Yeah.
See, when you say 120 transactions, what does that mean? I think all real estate agents sell 120 homes.
very good point.
Go ahead, Louise. What was your point?
Oh, well, that's what I should lead with. What does experience look like to you? And then more times than not, if we have done our homework and had the pre-qualifying question call before we arrive, we know who our competition is, right? So we can show up and say, hey, and you know this, and you'll be able to share it with them, and you'll have, agent A, agent B. Okay. Are you, and we know what they're looking for in experience. Okay, so are you looking for an agent with 3 years experience or 14 years experience? And they will answer the question, and then you'll show them which one of the two agents has the 14 years of experience. And then you go through that with the other points as well.
So what if you're an agent competing with somebody with higher experience then?
Well, Tanner, obviously you're going to highlight the things that make you shine, right? You're not going to point out that you're competing with Denny Grimes and he's an MREA many times over and you're not. That's not what you're going to point out, right?
Well,
why
all
are
right,
you
so
knocking
let's
the other
handle
agents?
Is someone here on the call newer?
Yep.
I am.
All right, so Jay, you were the first one. Let's say now, let's go, you can go to Dr. Lauren, and she's asking you about your level of experience. You look pretty young. We're looking for somebody experienced. How would you handle that as a newer agent?
Well, it's a great question, Dr. Lauren. you want somebody on your team who's hungry and wants to get things done for you, right?
Yeah, I want someone that knows the ropes, that have had, few, years of experience under their belt, that have been around the world once or twice and understands all the different mishaps that can happen in transaction.
So what I'm hearing you saying is that you want to net the most amount of money from your sale, right?
I want someone that's going to take care of this transaction and be prepared for anything that may come our way.
Absolutely. Sounds great. I would like to come by just at what time works for you today?
Jay, you're at the table.
We're at the table.
We're at the table.
Okay. So let me put it this way, Dr. Lauren. What I get to the table in my team is to help you get the home sold for the most amount of money. And though I have not sold a ton of homes, I have been in the real estate business, and I treat my clients like family. I want to make sure that I will take you all the way across. And with
All
just
right, I'm going to call timeout. Now you're just throwing spaghetti on the wall, which is better than just sitting there smiling at them, and they'll call 911 on you. All right, who else wants to take a shot at that? The Dr. Nicole. Dr. Nicole.
Yep.
All right, you're at the table with Dr. Lauren. She's looking for someone with experience. How do you handle that?
Well, Dr. Lauren, I have to say I have 30 years of experience as a professional myself. So all of that experience and practice will be placed into getting you the best price for your home. I have all the time that you would need me to spend on getting your house sold.
Wait a
And I have
minute.
an incredible team.
I'm going to throw the flag. Now, wait a minute.
Okay.
I thought you said you're a newer agent.
I am brand new
Well, you got 30 years of experience.
as a doctor. So I bring that to the table.
All right. What I want you guys to do is do not read a resume to them. It will not work.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just do this. Okay, Dr. Lauren.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm going to try this abbreviate. I know you already had. You want someone experienced that can handle the transaction, correct?
Correct.
And so if you were going to hire someone, how would you know that they had that level of experience?
Well, I would ask them about, other transactions that they've done, ensuring, seeing what's the worst that's happened and what's the worst that they've dealt with, because I want to make sure that if something pops up, that they're going to be able to take care of it. And newer agents, they just haven't had their feet wet long enough.
Well, I got that. So help me understand, how do you define newer? What's a newer agent?
A newer agent, in my estimation, is probably an agent that's been, in the business for maybe a year, 18 months, probably hasn't had a lot of transactions. I want someone who's at least had, 50 or so transactions under their belt.
Mm-hmm. See, that's what I wanted to get to. Sometimes they're going to have whatever it is, you need to know what it is. I want to find out if they measure experience in time or transactions. Let's say I'd like someone with maybe minimum of 5 years experience. Got that. And you have 1.5. What do you say? What do you ask?
What's important about the 5 years worth of experience?
Okay. Well, I think by then they would have they've had enough transactional experience to, kind of like Scully, who landed on the Hudson.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely understand that. And in those 5 years, you mentioned having enough transactional experience. What does that look like? What's enough?
I would say maybe 25 or 50 homes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 25 or 50 homes. Okay, that seems fair. Now, if I was able to show you, bring in a partner that has had that level of experience, and we were able to tag team and work together on the sale of your home, is that something that would interest you?
Okay, so when you say partner, what does that mean? I'm out of role right now. I'm curious so you're going to bring in somebody to co-list with you?
Yep, that would essentially be what my pitch to them would be.
Could you handle it a different way? This is
as potentially as a coach, because I have a coach that's been in the business for 25 years or so.
That's an interesting angle. Okay. What would be another way that you could handle it? One of the things I wanted you guys to pick up on, if they're saying I'm looking for someone who's got several years experience, how many agents do you know that have been in business several years but haven't sold squat? So you want to make sure you get into the fact, are you talking about the number of transactions or the number of years? And oh, by the way, what if they've had 5 years experience, 50 transactions, but they haven't sold anything in the last 6 months, or they haven't sold anything in Wellington?
That's impossible. So Denny, are you looking for, what if I told you about agents? Or would a 30-year agent be appealing to you?
Oh, well, they'd probably be too old and senile.
Okay, what about maybe a 10-year agent?
Yeah, I think they'd probably be in their groove.
So would you rather have a 10-year agent that has 10 or has 1 year of experience 10 times over, or an agent like me with 2 years of experience that has oh gosh, I can't think of, Authorine, you might remember this because we heard it from James.
Sold a lot of homes in the last 6 months. Somebody was somebody
Authorine,
like
can
me.
you hear me?
Then-
Do you remember it? It's like an agent with an agent that's been in the business 10 years that has 1 year of experience each, like the same 1 year of experience, or an agent who has, I
1 year
can't
in the
think of it.
business and 10 years worth of different experience.
Danny, can I try one different way if possible with Dr. Lauren with this with the same objection?
Yep.
So Dr. Lauren, I understand that the other agent you interviewed has more years and experience than me. Is that right?
That's correct.
And that's important too. Am I right?
Yeah. I want them to be prepared.
Great. I appreciate you sharing that. Now, Dr. Lauren, what do you know about level of service in the real estate?
Well, I've heard decent things about them, and wanting to make sure that I do get a high quality of service, and I feel like if they've been able to do that.
Great. I mean, just curious though, have you ever been to a restaurant or a place where it's so popular and busy that they did not give you the service you deserve because they do not care if you're gonna come back or not?
I mean, I try to avoid those types of places. To be honest, I can't think of the last time I've been to one.
I mean, it doesn't feel good, right? At the end of the day.
No, it doesn't feel good.
I mean, how would you feel if this was just that type of business at the end of the day, and you did not get the service you deserve and the attention, most importantly?
I don't know. Are you going to be able to do that? Because again, attention is one thing, but getting the job done and being able to handle anything that comes up is another. So
Great. What if we do this just for 2 weeks? You see how we work, and at the end of the day, if you're not happy, you could just move on and hire the other agent. But I guarantee my services and quality.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
There you go. So he's gonna date before they marry. Good strategy.
That was good. That was good.
Here's the last one for the older people, the seasoned people.
Wow.
Go, I'm one of them. Hey, are you familiar with Hertz?
Hertz.
Hertz car rental?
Oh, yes. Hertz. Yeah.
You don't remember the commercial.
So she was probably sitting on her grandfather's lap when it played. But anyway, Dr. Lauren, Hertz is known, and they have a remarkable reputation. They're known for being number 2 in their industry. And they've got a great reputation. Do you know why?
Number 2 in their industry? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Do you
Okay.
know why their reputation is so good?
Why is it so good?
Because they try harder. And that's what I'm going to do for you.
One
Okay.
last. That takes me back to OJ. OJ Simpson was in that commercial. I'll give you one more and we'll go on to something else. So figure out where let's pivot and do something different. Here is last ditch effort. I'll go to you, Tanner. Tanner, what do you do for a living?
What I do for a living? Am I the agent or?
No, you're the seller.
Seller. I'm a barber.
I got that. And how long have you been doing that?
And I don't know, like 20 years.
Do you remember when you first started?
Oh, I do.
And when you were probably looking young and people, he had a barber shop with the 3 chairs they wanted to go to the experienced barber.
That's true.
What would you say to them to get them into your chair?
It's a, I don't know, I would probably offer them the best service I could and deliver it.
Well, let me ask you, when you eventually then got your 20 years experience, aren't you thankful to those that gave you the experience and built up your customer? And so can you see me and can you see you and me?
Wow.
You wanted someone to take a chance on you.
Nice emotional connection. Love it, Danny.
Yes. But barber stuff, anyone can cut hair. Come on. All right, what's up next, Louise?
Thank you, Danny. That was great.
I don't know. What about, you want to look at bull rides, or do you just want to go back to the traditional, let's go through a minute and a half of.
Oh, you're the Vanna White. We can do whatever. Someone has got to listen.
What's a bull
I like
ride?
the objection handler. We got so much engagement today. Like, I think more people have spoken up today than they have in a while.
I mean, I've got one. I think it's very common. Like, you did a great job presenting. I love it. But, somebody else is going to do it for less. So how much can you discount your commission?
Isn't that what the first objection?
Yeah, that was the first one.
I'm sorry. I'm joining late. Sorry.
That's okay, Jay.
Did I get one recently? What about the buyer? Do we want to do the buyer's agent? Oh no, this is listing mastery.
No, it can be anything. No
you guys
objection out there.
Sorry. Hey, Coach, I've got an objection out there that listing. The seller says I'm not going to pay a buyer commission.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll handle that. Now, again, I don't know anything about the lawsuit. I'm not standing up here as a Keller Williams coach. I'm here as Denny Grimes' agent. So I don't talk about stuff like that. I couldn't talk about that in family reunion because there's going to be an official policy. I'm just going to go like this. All right. So Jay, you don't want to pay a buyer's fee, is that right?
That's right. That's what I've been hearing in the media. I don't need to pay a buyer commission while selling a home. Is that right?
Okay, so here's my question. If you're not, if you don't want to pay a buyer's fee, that means if the agent is going to bring a buyer, the buyer has to pay the fee, right?
I believe so, yeah, if you say so.
And so I would think this makes sense. So if that's the case, where do you think, if you were an agent, would you start showing your buyers homes that the seller wasn't going to compensate the buyers, meaning the seller is not really welcoming buyers? Or would you go, wait a minute, I'm not done talking. Okay, or would you go to the homes that are fully cooperative?
Let me put it this way. I mean, I'm right now, used to trade stocks and bonds, which was paying a huge amount for that, and now it's just no fee to trade stocks, bonds. Similarly to travel industry, where we used to pay a lot to travel agents. Now I think the agents are paid too much. In countries like Australia, New Zealand, we just pay 1.5–2% total fees, and I think we are going that route. So I'm okay with just paying the seller and let the buyers take care of themselves.
Okay, so then if you traded stocks and bonds, there's a market value for stocks and bonds, right?
Yep.
There is a market value for a home as well. So if the buyer has to pay if you want market value, then that means what it's worth. And if the buyer has to pay on top of that, then they'll pay in more than market value. So you're going to be working with buyers that want to pay more than market value. And you said you had experience in stocks and bonds. How difficult/impossible is that?
I mean, it's pretty easy. I go to a Schwab or TD Ameritrade account. I just buy it. It's pretty simple.
You buy it at market value, but if they say you got to pay the fees too, that may make you look elsewhere. My question is, listen, you don't have to pay them. The buyer can offer you 2% less. You feel better about that?
Yeah, I don't want 2% less. I want, you said you were gonna get me 18%, 20% more than list price. I want more.
Well, that, anyway, so believe me, that's how I'd handle that. Anyone else want to take a stab at that? Because in my opinion, the way this is going to shake out, and Gary Keller said it, well, I won't tell you what Gary Keller said. He has no comment on it yet. However, who's always paid the fee?
Buyers.
Buyers, not sellers. Buyers are writing the check. So when they say the Lexus has leather seats are included, are you paying for leather seats?
Mhm.
Yes.
Right.
But I have a question with this, because if you get an appraisal on your home and let's say it's appraised at $1 million, then aren't you as the seller expecting to get $1 million? So then how, if I don't want to cooperate and pay the buyer's agent, I'm still expecting the $1 million. And I'm not expecting, the buyer's agent to say you have to discount it at 2% so I can get paid.
Typically, the sellers don't get the report, no, the appraisal report, unless you
Some
did.
sellers actually get an appraisal before they list their property.
Yeah, but by the way, I'm glad you're bringing that up. Hear me on this. Read my lips. Never recommend that.
Correct.
You know why?
Because they're going to get that number in their head and they're going to be stuck with that.
The
And you don't
appraisal-
want them to
appraisal,
have any of
yes,
that information.
You're absolutely right. If that appraisal's wrong, you've got almost an impossible listing to sell. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Never.
So
I had someone one time say, hey, look, the listing wasn't selling. So what they wanted to do is have a wine and cheese and bring real estate agents over there and then write on a card what they think it's worth. Don't do that.
Denny, I would like back to differ actually. In our market out here, a lot of people are doing appraisal upfront and trying to price the home below that. So that so-called FOMO effect kicks in. This is appraised at so-and-so and we are list price is so-and-so. Let's get a frenzy of offers.
But the appraiser and the seller has never been the one to determine the price. The the market determines the price. So it doesn't matter if my house appraises for $1 million. The buyers have always determined what that house is worth, always.
Yeah, you're right about that. Well said. What's next, Louise? You've got 15 minutes.
Or then, with this appraisal that we got, Mr. Seller, now 3 things will happen. Can I share those with you?
Right.
Now, say it right, Tanner. That's not right.
1 of 3.
1 of 3 things will happen.
1 of 3 things will happen, yes.
Do we want another objection?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we do an objection at the table? Oh, we want to do it. Oh, you're doing an objection. Okay, never mind.
I have a situation, Denny. So it's an expired that I reached out. I've been following up, and tomorrow I'm bringing a legitimate client to her.
Mhm.
Now, my client is interested, but in case it doesn't work out, I'm just trying to play how I can turn back and ask her if she would like me to continue with servicing her.
So you're taking a buyer to an expired.
That's correct.
All right. Anybody want to take that for 1 minute? No takers?
You're taking expired to a buyer.
No.
So-
Buyer to an expired.
In the event
Oh,
that the
buyer to
buyer,
expired, okay. That's
if
different.
in the event
As
that
the seller-
this buyer wasn't interested, would you be interested in my services to help you potentially bring another buyer to the table? Because you've already showed that you've brought someone that had interest to the house. So it's shown your abilities. So would they be willing for 2 weeks to let you list the property to potentially bring another new buyer to the property?
Exactly.
Well, let me give you the other side of that coin. You've also demonstrated you can't sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you brought a
about
buyer
this?
and they didn't buy it.
Yeah, that's right. You ever think of that? So I would do this. I mean, I don't want to leave you stranded or Tanner. It's a fair question. I would think that I would say, okay, Tanner, listen, thanks for letting me show the home. This is a qualified buyer. It's not going to meet their needs. I really do appreciate the fact you let me see it. However, I want I don't want you, I want you to consider me to be the one to represent you. And I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that I brought you someone to see your home. I want you to see that I am actively out there working with buyers. And although this buyer may not have chosen the home, I intend to doing my best to get more buyers in the home. Would you have a conversation about me representing you? I wouldn't tie it to that action. And I would be upfront about it. This is a qualified buyer, meaning you didn't hire cousin Eddie to come through there just to make him feel better, right? That's probably what I do.
I mean, I shared the pre-approval and everything just so she understands it's not, you know, it's a legit buyer. I mean, if he likes it, maybe we're gonna have a deal, but I'm not sure.
Dr. Lauren has a good objection.
Hey, Tanner, I would just go with this one as well, that, you know, I know how to find ready, willing, and able buyers, just like the one I found out today for you. So let's sign up give me a chance of a 2-week listing agreement so I can get you more buyers in the door. And looks like you still want to get the home sold for top dollars, right?
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm just so excited. I'm just like, I got this one. I want ready, willing, able buyers in my team as well who are willing to make an offer. Just because it was not a perfect fit for these guys doesn't mean I don't have buyers. There's so many buyers out there. And it's my job to find out a buyer for you. I'm on my phone and with my team every day, 8 to noon, looking for those buyers, and I know how to make it happen.
Awesome, Jay. Dr. Lauren, what's your objection?
At the table, the sellers are saying they don't have a place to go.
Oh my gosh. I love that.
I know. I'm working on this one.
So let me put it this way. So you're afraid that you might sell your home and become homeless, right?
Yes.
It's been my track record. I've never left my buyers without a home. So all I'm saying right now is let's put this home to the market, and we'll make sure that we negotiate with anybody else who making an offer that they can give us some time to find the other home as well. In the meantime, we could start our lookout for your other home as well, parallelly.
I get that.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Hang on now. I want to give you, this is a master class. I'm going to give you a better one than that.
Please.
See, now, Jay, those words sound great. Trust me, jump out of the plane. I know you don't have a parachute on your back. We'll get one on the way down. So watch this. This is a slow process, and you can't solve a problem until they know they have one. So Dr. Lauren, so let's go to our model. You're thinking about selling. They're afraid to sell because they're afraid they don't have a house to move into. So, all right. So question 1. Lauren, do you have to sell in order to buy?
Yes, we do. We're going to use, I mean, yes, we need to use the proceeds of this house. We don't want to dig into our larger savings. So yes.
Then what's next? Why? This is a great area. Why do you want to sell and leave this area?
Well, we want to get a bigger house. We're going to be expanding our family. We're also having some family move in with us for a couple of years. So we need more space.
And then again, you're going to go in there and what will that do? You'll get a little bit more information. I don't want to take the time to do that now. Yep. Here's the important part that I want you to get. This is kind of this is not a one-liner. This is not a drop the bite conversation. So let me ask you this then. If you have to sell in order to buy, and yet you're afraid to sell because there may not be something out there, what's your plan? How are you going to do this? Now, it's important, you guys, that sometimes you have to make them think they have a problem. Then you can be you can be the knight in shining armor and solve it. I'm going to stop right there. Does that make sense to you? So, Dr. Lauren, what is your plan?
Well, I mean, our hope was to work with a buyer's agent and find a home first, so we felt confident to put this on the market.
So when you find a home, what are you going to do with it? Remember, slow down.
Well, I mean, if we find a home, ideally, you know, we'll be ready to sign the dotted line and then ideally put an offer in on that one so we can kind of do both things simultaneously.
Well, if you have to sell a home in order to buy the home, how are you going to put a contract on a home that you can't buy until you sell?
Well, we were gonna try to use a larger down payment, taking a lump sum, to kind of put that down and get our spot at that home, and then put this one on the market, close in 30 days. We think this home will sell really fast. And then once we get the proceeds from this home, be able to move forward with the other one.
Now, isn't she kind of solving her own problem? It's not even a homeless seller conversation anymore. So what if your home doesn't close, Dr. Lauren? Now I'm going to create the problem.
Mhm.
Well, if the home doesn't close, you know, I didn't think about that. It's
Now,
gonna close. I mean, of course it's gonna close.
mastery level agents don't use the C word. Oh, what a great line that is. You know what it is? Contingency.
Contingency.
You don't use it. You're not helping your clients with a contingency. You're not maximally effective. So what you're talking about doing is, I think what I hear you putting a contingent on the one you're buying on selling your house, right?
Yeah, essentially.
You guys see the danger in that? So when you put your house on the market eventually, and someone wants to buy your home, it's been on the market an hour and a half, and someone wants to buy your home, they're head over heels in love, and yet they give you a contingency. I see that, Hen. They give you a contingency, they have to sell their home. Are you going to take that?
No, I gotta get out of this home, so I can't take their contingency.
Well, exactly. So if you want to be able to do a contingency, what we have to do is look at all the homes that nobody else wants.
So what are you suggesting then?
Well, I'll get that. Louise, you had a point.
So Dr. Lauren, if there were a way that you could right now place an offer on another home without that contingency, what would it be worth to you?
There was a way I could put an offer on that other home. I mean, it'd be worth a lot. It would.
Would it be worth 1.5% of your purchase price?
Perhaps.
Then let me introduce you to this lender who can do that for you.
You're doing what? What are you doing? A bridge?
Yeah.
Buy before you sell program. Is that the one you're talking about?
Well, why would you do that? I don't think that's the best plan out there at all.
I don't think it's the best one. It's one of the options though. So let's talk about other options.
Well, I haven't laid out my option yet. However, I mean, I have never in my 40 years ever had a client do a bridge loan. So maybe I'm a little confirmation bias against them because even before I was smart. So, all right. So let me ask you this, Lauren. Now, here's the point. I want you to get this part right. You can't go and say, Lauren, how about if I'm going to talk about the golden seller, but hey, what if we can find a buyer to let you stay there 30 days or so after you close, then you can move in. You can't do that yet. You have to have them like paint themselves into a box. So Lauren, you want to say you want to get a bigger home. Have you been looking online? This is the part where I know your eyes are glazing over, but get this. You've got to have them say this. Have you been looking online in areas like that you'd like to move?
Yeah, absolutely.
And they have. How often do you see a home come up that would be a great possibility if only your home was sold?
I mean, yeah, a few times a week we've seen some things that seem to be what we're looking for.
You see, with it, so 2 or 3 times a month, or maybe 2 or 3 times a week, so often, right?
Okay, yeah.
Now, why is it important for you to ask that question? Because when we go in the golden seller program, if you don't ask that question, you say, well, what if they don't see it until every 6 months? So
right, then it's not going to be a benefit to them. Yeah.
Well, it would be, but it's a different conversation. They'll shoot it down. So, all right. So, well, what if there were a buyer out there would buy your home that really doesn't want to move down right away? They're up north somewhere, and they'll pay you a fair price for the home and let you stay there for a month or two. You'll have
Yeah,
money, your home will be closed. You can act as a cash buyer, and when you go, and so by get one of the best homes and have one move. I mean, would that work? Notice I'm asking like I just thought of it.
yeah. I mean, that seems, I mean, if that's possible, we can find a buyer like that that would give us that flexibility.
Well, you know what the first step is, don't you?
Well, I guess the first step is putting this house on the market.
Boom. That's the drop the mic question.
Exactly.
That was brilliant. Very nice, very nice.
Now you guys, that is by far a bulletproof. You tell me a rational seller that wouldn't do that. And don't get balled up into we have to rent it back or whatever. That's all in the negotiation. That is such a slick program. That's why I call it the golden seller. Congratulations, you're a golden seller. What is that? There's buyers out there. In fact, there's probably more than you realize that really don't want to move down. However, your house is perfect because they know how well you take care of it. Now, Louise, is that better than a bridge?
Yes, I like it a lot. Think
Yeah.
so.
So any ahas today? What did you learn today?
I mean, slow down, ask more questions before jumping into solutions. Give them more options.
Great job, Jay. Good. Anybody else?
There's more than one way to handle an objection.
Yes, there is. And then we can have some fun with it. One more.
If you
I like-
ask enough questions, then they'll paint themselves into a corner and they'll self-discover.
Nice job. That's beautiful. Well, you guys have an awesome weekend. Louise, you come up with some great ideas. Thanks for playing full on. I appreciate your input. Sandra, are we on today? Okay. All right, I'll make sure I get the wine ready.
Me too.
All right.
I'll be up for it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love you, Mina. Have a good weekend.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.